Rage Whale.
This is episode 64, where we discuss barbecue with the most beautiful woman in the world, guessing heights, Barbie, and unconscious bias. Hope you enjoy the episode.
Just to lighten things up a bit, I really like courtroom TV shows. I think they're really cool. And there's one that I think is one of the most underrated shows on Netflix called How to Get Away with Murder.
I love that show.
Has anyone ever?
Loved it.
It's how good is that? Has everyone seen it?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that the best whodunit program ever? You cannot predict it. Like, you were like, at the end, you're like, this person, you're like, nope, never.
It was
So
really
good.
Is that the one where the guys... I don't know what the correct term is.
It's got the woman that's now in Avengers and all that sort of thing.
Viola Davis is the lead, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's blown up now. And it's just, I remember watching it being like, I cannot second guess this program. Like, everything that happens, I'm like, did not see that coming.
Yeah. It's really good.
It's so good.
No, I'm thinking of Making a Murderer.
No.
Very
Couldn't
different
be
show.
any more wrong. No. How to
You're
Get Away
talking
with
about
Murder,
fiction,
Kev.
I'm
Watch it,
talking about-
honestly. It's one of them programs where you
real
watch the
life.
first episode. It's like when you watch Game of Thrones the first time. You watch it and think, I'm not really bothered with this. And at the end of it, you're like, okay, well, now I have to watch the next one. And it's like, now I have to. And then you're 3 seasons in before you know it.
Season 1 was amazing, Game of Thrones, though.
Yeah, but it was also the worst
Let's
ending
not talk
to
about
any
that.
show of
Boring.
history.
Yeah, let's not go down that wormhole.
But look,
But yeah,
that's still a link to live, though, because remember, when she was in America, she said the line from Game of Thrones, so it's still connected.
you two need to go and watch How to Get Away with Murder. It's so good.
I've seen bits-
Actually, I'll prefix that. You have to give it the benefit of a doubt because the first few episodes are a bit like US teeny bopper. So forget that. So get through them, and then the rest of it is brilliant.
I really enjoyed Presumed Innocent, which was awesome.
What's that, a film?
Was that the one with the guy who was in Fantastic Four?
That was the one with Jake Gyllenhaal, and it's based on the Harrison Ford film.
Oh, an Apple. That was brilliant. And have you guys seen Anatomy of a Fall yet? Anyone?
Is that the one where the dog was, like, really important?
Yeah. And a Few Good Men?
Yeah, A Few Good Men is a
Courtroom
classic.
Dramas.
I always
You can't
imagine
handle
Liv.
the truth.
Yeah, I always imagine Liv saying that out loud, like, you can't handle the truth. I wondered if that's a line you've always wanted to say.
I can't think of any others off the top of my head.
You're probably not allowed to say that, but yeah, it's
There's
cool.
loads. But yeah, I mean, no, making it like those Netflix documentaries where you got Making a Murder and you've got Staircase. Did you see any of those?
That was
Yeah.
I
crazy.
know the staircase. It's one way
It was an owl, did it? Of course it is.
Yeah, but he
You
didn't.
pushed your wife down the stairs and blamed an owl. Come on.
He didn't.
He
It was
did
an
it.
owl.
Yeah.
No, he
He
didn't.
did it.
It's
You know
also
what? I
like,
think he did it.
One I did really enjoy was O.J. Simpson versus the World.
Oh yeah. What, the drama?
Yeah.
Oh, that
He
was
wrote a
good.
book saying how I got away with it.
Who was in that? That's got that woman
it
who
was
is
John
amazing.
Travolta and David Schwimmer.
John Travolta?
David Schwimmer plays the Kardashian, doesn't he?
Yeah.
No, John Travolta wasn't in that.
Yeah, he was.
Does David
Where?
Schwimmer play the Kardashian? Robert
He does.
Kardashian, is it?
What was it called? OJ what?
It's Robert Cuba Gooding Jr. is in it as well.
No,
O.J.
that's a
Simpson
different
versus
thing,
the
mate.
World. I swear it's John Travolta's in it.
The Kardashians are just involved in everything, aren't they?
Oh man, I'm getting confused.
You're getting confused. You're talking about a different film with about OJ Simpson.
Oh, I am. Yeah.
Wait,
My
who
bad.
me?
No, I think Liv, you're right. I'm wrong. Which
Okay.
There's a woman
always
who's
that
in
always happens. Like I'm
loads of stuff, and she's incredible. You might know her for. She's in the OJ Simpson. She's got the curly hair in that program. She's the lawyer with the curly hair.
Yes.
I'm talking about me and you are talking about the same program,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I know who you mean. Oh, what's her name?
She was in Ratchet. So Sarah Paulson, that was it.
Oh, Sarah Paulson's amazing. She's in all the a lot of the American Horror Stories.
Yes, that's it. Yeah, Sarah Paulson, she's amazing.
Kathy Bates is going to be in a new drama based on a TV show from the 60s, I think, called Something Mac.
She was good in American Horror Story as well when she was in it.
I was like, yep, Let's
If you
just
want,
ignore
if you want a bit of movie news, what's been announced today or this week is Ocean's 14's getting made.
Oh,
Men
God.
or
Does
women?
that interest anyone? The sequel to the original.
Only because I asked, because the last one was women, so I don't know if it was them doing another one.
No, it's the original people doing everything. But
Really? Interesting.
one
What,
question:
even like,
Well, they've
even,
brought Frank
what's she
Sinatra
called?
back from the dead.
the
Who
original
was the
guy
wife
that
in the
wrote
first
it,
one?
the
Who was the
original guy that
wife?
wrote it's written it. So I don't
It's
know.
George Clooney and Brad Pitt and all that jazz, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
who was the wife, though?
That was
Can't think of her name.
Julia Roberts.
Catherine Zeta-Jones is in it.
Julia Roberts. No. Is she in it? I hope she is. She's really good.
I don't know. Not a clue. Right. One thing I want to bring up, because I'm intrigued about this, because I don't know anything about it apart from the word that Liv sent me yesterday. And it's a question I want to bring up for every guest in future because it's a good one. You met someone famous and it's so high caliber. My eyes almost fell out of my head.
Can I guess who it
Because
is?
if I met this person, I would be a dribbling mess.
Can we guess
And
who
I
it
didn't
is
mean that in
first?
a weird
Yes.
way. I wouldn't be able to speak. But who's the most famous person you've met? Tell us.
Are we allowed to guess?
Yeah, you
Okay.
can have one guess each.
Based on Kev's reaction?
I think Liv should give like a clue because
Oh, yeah, there's like
Okay.
8 billion people we could guess
I'll
from.
give you quite a niche clue. She's known to be the most beautiful woman alive.
that's 2 clues.
The most beautiful woman alive? Well, that's got to be Liz Hurley.
Obviously, that's
Monica Bellucci?
a subjective.
Monica Bellucci, get out.
I
Are you
just
talking about Zendaya?
I just saw Liz Hurley in a program on Disney. There's a new Vogue program. You might be interested, Liv. I don't know if you're interested in
I'm interested.
fashion as well. It's a program on Vogue.
Okay.
3 episodes.
Juliette
on
Binoche.
Who?
Juliette Binoche? No?
Who's that?
She's supposed to be one of the most beautiful women on the world. Planet.
James is googling most
I
beautiful
am Googling.
person.
Who's
That's
Bella
dangerous.
Hadid?
But this could be based on. This is very.
Is it Margot Robbie?
No. But
It's
Who is
someone-
it? 'Cause I got the
not
top 10 right
higher
here.
status than her.
It's someone that's been the most beautiful woman in the world probably since the 90s.
Claudia
Oh,
Schiffer.
Dame Maggie Smith.
What? She was 70 back then.
Claudia Schiffer.
This is not going the way
okay,
If you
I
I'll
say
give you
Pamela
more
Anderson, I'm going to be fuming.
She has incredible jawline and cheekbones.
Jewelry.
No, like a
Joel
jawline.
Oh.
Crutcher.
Oh, does she have the mole on her cheek?
It's not
Since
Claudia.
the
It's not
90s.
Cindy Crawford. It's an actor. It's not a model.
Julia Roberts.
She is okay. Her most famous film came out in 2000.
What's it called?
Tomb
It's got
Raider.
the word girl in it. Oh.
Pardon?
Angelina Jolie.
Most beautiful. She's having a laugh, isn't she?
Shut
Behave
up, mate.
yourself.
You kidding me? So
Tomb
She's
Raider.
not even in the top
How?
20
What?
on here.
You were just both in the co-op at the same time? Like,
No.
what? How?
So it's actually a better story than that. When I was finished studying in America, I went traveling, and some family friends of mine from the UK used to live next door to a British family where the father is a stunt director in Hollywood. So he did Titanic, he did Jumper, he did Men in Black, and he's done all of Angelina Jolie's films.
I would have rather met him.
Yeah, well, I stayed with him for 2 weeks. Lovely guy.
What's his name?
His name, oh my God. I think his name's gone in my head.
Stuart.
He's a friend of mine. Anyway, that will come back to me.
Yeah.
It will come.
It will. Simon Crane. That's his name.
Crane.
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 Like the bird, the crane.
No, Crane. Oh, Crane.
Crane like
Crane.
a bird, yeah. And I was staying with them for 2 weeks in LA. And they're family friends with.
Standard.
They were family friends with Angelina and Brad Pitt. This is post-divorce. And
Who'd they pick?
yeah, that's him.
Did they pick Angelina or Brad?
Angelina.
Oh.
And yeah, I was basically heading out one day, and Joe was just like, "Yeah, by the way, Angie's going to come over for a barbecue. So she'll be here at 5. and she came with a
Fuck
couple
off.
of her kids, and one of the kids had
Fuck
stayed over
off.
the night before. So
How many has she got now?
7,
How many are actually hers?
3, I think.
She's
No, technically they're all hers, dude. What do you mean?
no, but I mean,
Biologically
yeah,
hers.
you can just like take children from
You mean
places.
ones that-
don't you? I
you
mean,
mean
the ones
ones
that
that
came
left-
from her.
Ones that, yeah.
How many
came
lived
from her.
inside of her?
Zip it.
So yeah, one of her sons had stayed over the night before, so I had breakfast with him, and it was just very surreal. And then yeah, she turned up. I actually came back later, so she was already there when I arrived, and she was very nice, and she was like, "Hi, I'm Angelina," and I had to stop myself from going, "Yeah, I know." So I was just like, "Hi, I'm Liv."
Imagine if you'd been like, "You look familiar, but I'm not
Yeah.
sure."
So yeah, I
When
had a
did you
family
film?
barbecue with her for about 5-6 hours.
Holy shit.
That's a
What was
long
the coolest
barbecue.
thing she said or did or told you?
She is probably the most normal person of like a celebrity status that I've met. She was just very down to earth. Gave me great career advice, gave me great life advice, and then played drinking games with her sons in the back garden.
To be fair, she does seem like a cool person.
Yeah, she seems
She's
cool
very,
as
very
hell.
cool. And like she does a lot of charity work, as we all know. She's very like an advocate for women in the UN and has a refugee camp, or I think it's a refugee camp in Southeast Asia, and 100% would like that. She was just so.
No, both of them seem pretty cool. To be
Yeah,
fair,
she really cares about humanity, doesn't she? She's
So
she's really cool.
if you followed her career from like early stages, like when she was a teenager in early 20s, like we all were, she was insane.
she was in a
nuts.
great movie with Ethan Hawke. I can't remember what it was called though.
She was in. She had amazing films like Girl
What was it
Interrupted.
called?
Was great.
Yeah,
I just googled your guy, and he's the stunt coordinator for Star Wars Rogue One, for Salt with Angelina Jolie, Jason Bourne, Edge of Tomorrow, Maleficent, Fast and Furious, Robin Hood, Unbroken, World War Z, Men in Black 3. Yeah, like
Just a few
he's done
things.
amazing shit.
By the way, has
Mr.
anyone
and Mrs.
seen this
Jones.
film? It's from 2004, so
Yeah,
20
she's
years
got
old.
Oliver Martinez as well.
It's called Taking Lives with
Taking
Ethan
Lives, yeah.
Hawke. Great movie where he murders the people and like takes their lives, obviously. But like,
Well, no, he
Murder
pretends
them.
to be them. He
Murder.
pretends,
Yeah, he
Murdered
pretends
them, but they're still alive.
that was probably
he
the
takes
first
their
Angelina
identity.
Jolie film I saw. Maybe.
Oh, that yeah. I remember that, Taking Lives. Yeah,
What would she have done before that? Because what's her main one? It's
Tomb Raider.
well, Gone in 60 Seconds. Oh yeah, Tomb Raider.
And
Tomb
Girl
Raider
Gone in
was
Interrupted.
60 Seconds.
year
Girl
before that.
Interrupted, I think, is the one that put her on the map because she was very young when that was filmed.
Yeah, Girl Interrupted. That was 99. Gone in 60 Seconds.
He was
2000.
brilliant in that. Yeah. She's
Yeah.
brilliant in the one with McAvoy, you know, where they spin bullets.
Wanted.
Wanted.
Yeah.
Oh shit, she was in Hackers in 1995.
Can we all just like respect the fact she's in Shark's Tale as well?
What?
Shark's Tale, Drew. True classic.
She's
Okay.
in a film that's coming out because it's just been at the Venice Film Festival. I think it's called Maria, and it's a true story about an opera singer. But I saw that she received an 8-minute standing ovation after the film was aired. So
8 minutes?
Yeah.
Always makes me laugh that someone picks out their clock and times it as soon as someone starts clapping. Like, click.
But yeah, really interesting.
We were saying, we
she was
mentioned that in one of the episodes. We said that the new way that films are now reviewed is based on how long people clap for. Like the new Joker film is, gets clapped for like 9 minutes, or like, it's like all these different things now. It's crazy.
By the way, there's a Salt 2.
Is
Is
there?
there?
What?
Yeah, it just got
No,
no
it
date
does
on it.
not.
It just says Salt 2. It's
No,
on a movie things.
no, it's not a
She was
real
also
one.
in Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's brilliant in that.
More
And
importantly,
let's not forget The Bone Collector. That's a great movie.
she was in the Meatloaf music videos for Bat Out of Hell.
Brilliant.
What?
So Salt 2 is coming. There you go. Spoiler alert.
I feel like they shouldn't have called it Salt 2. They should have called it Pepper.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good one.
thanks, Drew.
Thanks,
Oh.
man. Thanks.
Oh. Or Himalayan.
Himalayan.
What's your favorite Angelina Jolie film then? Don't say the two.
What a random question no one's ever asked anyone.
Well, go on.
Well, only because I watched it recently again, but I did really like Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
That's a great movie, and also very probably true to life. At the end.
I
But
don't
I
think I've
my
actually seen
overall
that one.
is probably Girl Interrupted.
Yeah, that's
mine's probably
quality.
Taken Lives. That's a brilliant movie. But Mr. and Mrs. Smith is a really fun film.
Yeah.
Have you never seen that, Kev? Did you just say?
Not
It's so funny.
not Mr. and Mrs. Smith. No,
It's really clever.
It's so funny.
They've just made like a Prime TV series based on it, and I'm like, that's too far.
Oh yeah, I saw
It's
that.
such a funny
it's got,
movie.
Thingy from.
Yeah.
Who's
That's
the?
helpful.
No, I know him.
You know what I mean?
We all know him.
Yeah.
That guy from
Love that guy.
Community, who's a
You
rapper.
know the one. You know.
The black guy
Who?
from Community, who's a rapper, called.
No idea what you're talking about.
Oh, for God's sake! You know that. You know
What
the
is
program,
Community for starters?
Community,
No.
the
TV series.
the
The comedy.
I've
thing.
never seen it.
Dude. It's got a famous...
Basically, what you were saying to me was name a rapper. There's 7 at
It's
least.
got a really famous old dude in Community that was
Donald
in...
so
Glover.
bad at
Donald
describing
Glover.
things.
Oh, Donald Glover. Yeah.
Donald
Yeah,
Glover.
yeah.
Who is? What's his name? What's his rap name?
Childish Gambino.
Bingo.
Oh, him. I know
Whoa.
him.
Yeah, of course you do, because I just told you.
10
you
points
did.
to live. That was serious.
Well,
That
actually,
was
no,
awesome.
Liv just said. You just said this guy from a thing who does a thing and maybe do a thing, and he does a thing.
Yeah, but you can't
Yeah.
say the thing because then that's actually going to confuse people because that is
What do you
actually a
think, you know?
thing. That's a
I
film.
wasn't wrong. He did do the thing, so
What? He's
Did he
in the
actually?
thing.
all of the thing.
What?
Do you know, one of the
I apologise
I'm
to
lost.
anyone that's listening now because this is just like I'm
Wait, the
lost.
thing with Kurt Russell.
no, shut up, you.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Donald Glover wasn't alive. He's even younger than us, I think.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying he wasn't in the thing.
For God's sake, kill me now. Oh no, he's. Oh,
Taking walks.
right. Let's ask Liv this. How old do you think Donald Glover is? Childish Gambino,
33.
roughly.
28.
Ooh.
Fuck off. How old do you think I am?
I don't know. Is he older than you or younger than you?
Be
I'm
gentle.
older. I'm older than him.
Okay.
Isn't that weird? Because I think I don't think I look older than him. Look at
be
Liv
honest,
trying
I
to be pretend right there.
I don't know
Fuck
what he
off,
looks like.
Kev.
34? 5? I don't know.
He is 40.
Oh, wow.
Oh no,
To be fair, Liv, if I
he's
hadn't
older.
told you how old I was, what would you have guessed
He's
my
41. He
Be
was
me.
born. He was born in September. I was in January, the same year.
This is fun, isn't it? Liv just guesses all of our ages.
Yeah, but I've already told her how old I am, so it doesn't even matter. But,
But yeah, you gave it away. Yeah,
Yes.
halfway through. You was, let's imagine I'm.
My
and you
favourite thing
are.
to do,
Yeah.
though, is to guess the height of people that you've never met.
Oh,
Wow.
Right, before you guess the literal heights, who do you think's the tallest the three of us, and who's the smallest the three of us? Before you even guess.
Well, I know how
if
tall
one's
you are,
5 foot,
Kev.
one's 6 foot. How
Um,
tall am I?
shut us.
you're about the same height as me.
Am I
Kev's
fucked?
about
A little
5'8".
bit taller.
Kev's 5'8" on a good day.
I've only met you with massive heels on, so no, we're not the same height. And I've
Yeah.
been taller than you then.
Wait, Kev, did you just admit to wearing massive heels when you met Liv?
No, Liv.
Kev's
no.
5'8" with thick Vans.
How tall are you, Liv?
I'm 5'7".
Fuck off. Fuck off. Am I the same height as you? Jesus.
Kev's 5'7". You heard it, Hiv. You
I'm
heard
going to
it
kill you
first.
next time.
Kev is
You know
taking
what?
lives.
I walk past Liv's family home every other day with my
Yeah, you
dog.
do.
I'm gonna
That's
put.
not
I'm gonna.
creepy.
gonna
We
put-
figured out that we live quite near each other.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Just point
stabbing,
that out.
Kev's putting dog shit through the letterbox.
but I will.
Kev
I
is
might,
taking lives in high heels. Sorry.
but I could put a poo bag through your letterbox.
No,
Whoa,
I don't
right.
live there anymore, so it's fine. Go for it.
That's awkward. Do you set
Right.
fire to the poo first? No, that's
Anyway, who's the tallest out of the three of us? Clearly, you think I'm the shortest. If you think I'm 5'7".
It's about right.
For the record, I'm not. People,
He's
Ooh,
5'6".
this is great. I was going to say radio.
I
It's great
think Drew, you're the
podcasting.
tallest.
Just-
Oh.
You've got tall energy.
I've got tall energy. I've got that big energy.
I don't know. See, I'm terrible at this. As somebody who I used
It
to
might
work
be
with-
just the way that my laptop's angled makes me look
Yeah,
taller.
probably. On my
Also, it looks
screen,
like you're in a
look-
turtleneck now. Oh no, there you go. It's better.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Your like hairy neck was like blended into your
Hey,
t-shirt.
it's just all hair. Just like I just live on top of a mound of hair. Yeah.
Yeah, Liv, by the way, you see his forehead, Drew's forehead? That's the only part of his body not covered in hair, like
Yeah,
thick.
he's not got a neck tattoo. That's just all hair.
He is
Yeah.
basically a werewolf with a
I
forehead.
am pretty much werewolf.
Oh wow.
I think I'm the tallest. I think
I'm
we've had
tall.
this discussion.
You might be, yeah. I mean, I think I'm 5'10".
Well, I
No.
know how tall I am.
You're
so,
5'9", aren't you?
like a normal person.
How tall are
Everyone
you,
thinks I'm
James?
5'9", but it
James,
was
you're
5'10"
5'9",
in my
right?
spotlight. I'm 5'10", man.
James,
Yeah, I'm 5'10" as well.
Yeah, I'm 5'10".
Oh,
Okay, you're all the same
so
height.
stupid question.
I put money on if we stood next to each other, I'm taller than both of you.
Yeah, but that's because of your little...
Only your quiff.
Oh,
Your little
fuck you, you
quiff.
What wins
little-
by a quiff?
I've got photos
Your
of all
little
of us
quaver on the top of
together.
your head.
Actually, wait. If I did that, Kev, I'd win.
Nah, mate,
Yeah,
I've
if
got
we all
photos
put
of us
quavers on our
together.
head, we'd
I'm
win.
taller than both of you.
I'd win if that was gelled up. I'd win.
I'm still traumatized by Liv thinking I'm 5'7".
That's my favourite moment in this episode.
I don't even know anyone that short as a man.
No, you're all
Liv.
right, because when we have met, I have had heels on, but they've probably been about 3 or 4 inches, so I'm probably thinking about that time, because then you would think
Kev knows
somewhat.
what 3 inches looks
So
like.
wait, does that mean that would make you like 6 foot if you're 5'7" and you're wearing those? No.
Well, if I'm wearing 3 inches, no. But if I'm wearing
No,
5, then yes.
Kevin's more associated with what 3 inches look like, aren't you, Kev?
Well, no, I thought you were 5'7" plus the 3 is the 6. No, anyway, that's
No,
it's fine.
no, because it goes 5'11", and then 5'12" is 6 foot, so that's 5 inches.
Oh God, yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's true.
Get with the metric
Maths
system,
is
Jesus.
clearly one of my strong points. So yeah,
And
I should never get involved with numbers.
Did you?
It always goes horribly wrong.
Don't worry, Drew. The worst maths so far today is James. Did you hear earlier when he said someone was put in prison in 1942? He's been in jail for 60 years. It's not 19.
Wait, did
it's
you
not
write
20,
that down?
20,
There's no
2002.
way you remembered that. Have you got notes?
Well,
how did you remember
You
that?
said the
Just
most-
like bring
he
it
said
up.
someone was put in prison in 1942. He's been in jail for 60 years. It's not
Also,
2002.
I'm sorry. Throwing shade
You
at
should
me
be
for
sorry.
that. Throwing shade at me when I said that dome.
Oh,
And
yeah, that's true.
Pythagoras here
Drew
comes
goes,
up
yeah,
with that
that
big
dome.
pyramid.
That's true. That's true. I've got dyscalculus, guys. I've got dyscalculus.
You've got this everything, mate.
I have. That's fair enough. That is fair.
That big round thing. Oh yeah, the pyramid that has 0 curves.
What's that line from the one with Jake Gyllenhaal? You know, where he's beating people up in the cafe.
What?
Every Jake Gyllenhaal movie.
No, we were talking about it the other time. With it's got
Conor
The
McGregor.
Roadhouse.
Roadhouse, and when he goes, what's the wing when he says about the shapes?
It's like, oh yeah, they're in a boat fighting. He's like, is this like our octagon? He's like, where did you learn shapes? That's a great line.
That is brilliant. There you go.
Oh,
That would probably be the same thing that happened to me if I was fighting.
10 minutes ago when it made sense, but it's still on my phone. Angelina Jolie was a producer and part of the story writing process and made this film happen. And I don't know if anyone's seen it, and it's incredible, called Unbroken.
Liv was talking about that.
Have you seen that?
No.
Don't think so. What's it about?
She
It's-
directed it, wasn't she?
It's got she directed it as well. It's got Jack O'Connell
Jack
in it,
O'Connell.
and
Oh,
he like
I've heard about
slimmed
it.
down.
Is he the guy with skins?
Yeah, it's like it's basically like I think it's a Japanese war camp.
He plays Cook in Skins, doesn't he?
Yeah. It's very powerful war
He's
movie.
a great actor that I think needs. He is probably close to Taron Egerton, but has
Well,
never
well-
had the exposure.
People are saying he's the next Tom Hardy.
I'd say better.
No, who? Taron Egerton?
No, Jack O'Connell.
No, he won't. He'll never be anything big. He's past that point now. He never will. I can guarantee that. Talk to me in 10 years, he never will.
Yeah, but it was.
Taron Egerton is the next big thing for us.
Do you think he's going to be the next
He's one of the
James
best
Bond?
actors.
Ooh.
He could be, yeah, he could be.
Although
I
they're
don't
He
saying
could be.
now
I
it's
really wish Clive Owen had been James Bond.
Who are they saying now?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Queen Latifah,
yeah.
I think they're saying now.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Fun fact,
I still think
though,
he'd be a
James
good one.
Bond is not allowed to be ever played by a woman.
Why not?
The
James Bond isn't, but 007 could be.
Yeah. So there is a
But it
007
wouldn't
in
be
the last
007,
film.
it'd be 008 or 009 or 0010 or something.
But yeah,
couldn't it be called like Jane Bond rather than? Does it have to be?
Absolutely not. Ian Fleming would be fuming. They need to, if they just introduced the 008.
They already did, didn't they?
Well, no,
In the last
007
film?
is like an agent name, so that can change. If
Yeah, because
James
006
Bond's
was Sean Bean.
Oh, okay.
Remember
Yeah.
James Trevanion, whatever his name was back in GoldenEye? Alec Trevanion. That was
Yeah, Sean Bean.
Bean's character. He was 006.
Yep.
So if you do watch Spies, you think there's only ever been 7 spies in the whole thing. In reality, it'd be on like 00. Well, they'd be on like 127. It should be called 164 by now.
You know, has people seen No Time to Die? You know, the latest one.
Don't think I have actually. Who's in it?
where he dies at the
Because
end.
is it? What's
I've not seen it.
the name of the actress? Arma something. I can't remember her name now.
Arma
Oh,
Durrell.
Yes. The girl who's
Arm
played
Durrell.
Marilyn
Diarma?
Monroe. Yeah, Diarmas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's rumors. Like, I thought she was the best thing in No Time to Die, which tells you how bad the Bond film is if she steals the show in 10 minutes. But she's brilliant. But she was so good that they're actually thinking of giving her her own film, which I think's brilliant. And that's a cool way in, basically.
Good, I'm down with that. That's
She was brilliant.
exactly how they should introduce a female lead to a traditionally male lead. Like, perfect example is Thunder Rosa. Furiosa, sorry, not Thunder Rosa. Furiosa. Furiosa. What a
That
great
sound
movie.
like me now.
I want to see Thunder Rosa. What's that about?
Yeah.
No, that's the name of a wrestler. Thunder Rosa is a wrestler, Spanish wrestler.
Oh, it's a real thing.
Furiosa was a brilliant way of introducing a female lead. Absolutely amazing.
Thunder Rosa is someone that tries to build a florist in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Yeah, that's a Spanish wrestler. But Furiosa, what a great movie. And you didn't care who the lead was. She was just great for what she did. The little kid, whoever she was, brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
But it was Anna Taylor.
Anna Taylor-Joy, yeah. But it was, for most part, it was that young girl.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Really good.
Have you seen Furiosa, Liv?
No. That's got
No.
Chris Hemsworth
Awesome.
in
And
it.
same with Deadpool Wolverine, the bad girl, sorry. Whatever her name is, I don't know, but
Emma...
she's fantastic.
Yeah,
she
played
was
Thingy
younger.
in
Diana.
The Crown.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was good.
Brilliant.
Emma Corrin?
Corrin? Something like that.
Corrin? Emma Corrin?
Yeah,
No idea, but she was great.
Princess Diana, that's who she played in The Crown.
Oh,
In The Crown, that's the one. Yeah.
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 just
just
a
won an
small
Emmy.
part.
She won an
Did
Emmy
she?
last night.
What,
for
this
The
week?
Crown. Yeah. The
For
Emmys
what?
were on
Oh,
last
for The
night.
Crown. Oh. Amazing.
She was on stage in the West End as well in like an amazing play.
Yes,
And like
she
the
was.
guy, the director of Deadpool and Wolverine saw her as well and was like, she's the one I want. Like, for the film.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was. I couldn't see it, but yeah, it
It
had
looks
rave
epic.
reviews.
I think she's like on stage for like the whole, like she doesn't really leave. Maybe for like one scene she's not in, but like she carries the whole play. I think it's like based on a Greek
Probably.
story. Greek tragedy of some sort, maybe. I don't know.
One of those Greek stories.
Yeah. It's all Greek to me, man. It's all Greek to me.
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just a reminder to say we love and appreciate you all for listening to the podcast, whether it's on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, follow, as this really helps us continue to progress and improve the content and keeps us making these fun episodes for you guys. Oh, we're also on these things called Instagram and TikTok. You can follow us there too, as we share short, funny reels on the reg that you can share with friends if you like. Now, back to the mayhem.
No, fantastic. Well, we've taken up quite a lot of your time. Do you reckon that's we said we'd finish at 9. I do apologise.
It's so fine.
I assume you've got work and stuff in the morning and everything like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Just watch out for that person behind you spying on you.
I
That is
know.
proper creepy.
Don't worry.
I think James has just gone for a little whittle. We should all just disappear before he comes back, and he just comes back to a blank screen. Like,
Yeah.
We're just, there's a little sign saying we've gone fishing or something.
Yeah. No, genuinely, thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I apologise if we got a bit heated having a chat about law and stuff, but
No,
I think
I've
we all
enjoyed
find
it.
it fascinating and get a bit carried away.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, thank you so much for giving up your time and hanging out with us, and enhancing our brains with new knowledge.
No, I've loved it. And I need to get my own podcast back up and running, so maybe I'll be calling on you guys to do that.
I was going to say,
I
didn't know if you wanted to mention it or not.
Can we ask what your podcast is about?
Yeah, well, I've only done 3 episodes because when I released them, then life just took over, both in terms of work and also medically. So I could not find the time to do it. But it's called The Pressure Parade. And I'm basically trying to talk to loads of different people of different ages, different genders, different backgrounds, to kind of understand not necessarily what pressures, but what kind of barriers or things we face. Because I think with like social media at the moment, there are lots of podcasts out there, and there are lots of shows and stuff, and you hear about amazing celebrities or people who have won like Nobel Peace Prize. Take the Diary of a CEO, for example. These people are very inspirational. It was the famous Molly May quote of, there are only 24 hours in a day, you've got to make the most of it. And I'm like, well, the average person can't do that. So it's just kind of a way of like talking about normal things that happen to normal people, to remind people that you don't have to, invent the next
conform
AI
to the norm
thing, or, be a multi-millionaire by the time you're 21. To be accepted. So
Do you know what? You're spot on there with something there. Like you do see crazy things, and I'm someone that like on this. I'm like, I'm here. I take the piss. I'm like kind of the comic relief on this thing, I guess, like the piss taker. But in general life, yeah, I do agree with that. Like, I've got a little boy. He's like, he was 6 at the weekend, so I spend a lot of my time looking at human behavior, like social things and stuff like that. And I think for girls especially is I go to town. I think when we were growing up, not so much yourself, sorry, but when we were growing up, you watch programs we watched growing up. Friends, for example.
Yeah.
Everyone was kind of, no one was shredded, no one was ripped. They were like handsome, good looking, but they were nothing like that you could physically change yourself. Whereas now, I think you see these younger people are looking at programs like Love Island, and they're looking at like the 0.1%ers. Like, people don't look like that in real life. Like, Chris Hemsworth will come out and Tom Hardy will come out and say, I don't look like that. Jason Momoa is a good one. He comes out and if he gets a picture of him taken at the beach without a six-pack, everyone's like, dad bod. It's like, what? He's jacked. He just doesn't have, he's not shredded. Like, none of them look like that in real life. And I think that's the kind of like the difficulty. People seeing these 0.1% and they're being like, we have to look like that, and like we have to wear like Saturday night makeup like all the time, or we have to wear these we have to be at the gym. Going to the gym's a good thing, don't get me wrong, but I think when people, there's a difference between wanting to look good and feeling like you have to look good. There's a difference between a want and a must. I get it if a girl or a guy wakes up and I want to put some makeup on, I want to do my hair, because feel good, it's brilliant. When they wake up and think they have to do that before they leave the house, I think that's when you have to really kind of like gauge the level of like, you don't need that, and most people don't look for that. Like, you get your
I think everyone's got their own pressures, haven't they? So I've got a different pressure to what
when it comes to like vanity, it's like, I think a lot of people think that's how people need to see them, but in reality, people appreciate how they just look. Like, they don't need the bells and whistles.
An interesting thing that came up today in this event that I was at, Anna, an author was there. She's an author and done loads of things, and she actually gave us her book. It's called The Authority Gap. So if you want to read it, I recommend it. I've got given it for free today. But she is basically looking at why men are taken more seriously than women. And there was a study.
Really?
Yeah. And I've experienced it. I experience it every day.
No, I get that.
There were two researchers in, I think it's going to be like somewhere like Harvard University or somewhere prestigious like that, a man and a woman, and they both transitioned to the other's gender. And the woman who transitioned to a man was like, this is amazing. I'm actually being heard in conversations, even to the point where somebody was heard after they'd given a speech going, what they're saying is actually really good, not like their sister, because they didn't realize that they had transitioned. So they thought that the woman they used to be was their sister, but it was the same person.
So they didn't go in being like, I'm a trans whatever. They just went in being like, I'm a man or a woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she was like, they were like, I'm being heard now and people are taking me seriously. Whereas the man who transitioned to a woman, she was like, I didn't realize, I had no idea it was going to be like this. She's like, people accusing me of not reading research.
Wow.
They second guess everything I tell them. My work's not being picked up as much as it used to be. And it's the only thing that comes down to it is the fact that they're the opposite gender.
That's insane. But I mean, was that carried out over multiple offices, or was it just like one specific? Like, not saying, but it was like a vast study, or was it like we picked a company, went there, and
I don't know the behinds of it. That's the only thing that she.
Because I think some of it is like, I personally don't think what's between your legs should make a difference how qualified you are for a job, or what color your eyes are, your skin are, your hair is, whatever. Who cares? But I think it's kind of like, I think employers are kind of in a really difficult situation at the moment, where we are in a world where the color of your skin does make a difference. You can seem to be prejudiced, like, oh, a white person, a black person goes to get a job. You're like, and I think in employers that it shouldn't do, but it does come into mind. So they're like, oh, if we give that person a job, will it be because of that or this? Same with male, female, and it's just crazy that like, you should get a job if you're best for the job. Who cares? Like,
Yeah, but
what
that's
your vessel is.
I mean, that's obvious. That's the ideal, but that's not the reality that people see.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, never being an employer, I've never like
and the
experienced
problem
that
is
issue.
that
But
we're not even allowed in this conversation, because I can say that I would never do that and I would never judge someone differently, but that's irrelevant. If someone else feels that, that's the reality for them. So
I think you're always going to get both ways, though, if you think about it. Because for every white person that would prioritize a white person, there's probably a black person that would prioritize a black person. Same with male and female. I think you're always going to get prejudice. You're never going to drill it out of anyone.
Well, I was just going to say, from experience, I've witnessed what Liv was talking about twice, though. So when I was working at my job in Andover, for example, the young girl that I was working with, she is the manager, and it could just be that I'm grey and I have a deeper voice, but everyone would come in and they'd want me to serve them, and I'm like, guys, I'm just new. She knows everything. Like, she's fantastic, and that happened the other day at my other job, where there was myself and a lady, and the customer went straight for me. And again, I went, she is much better equipped for this. It's my first day. And it's just fascinating that people are just go straight to
stereotypes. I don't think that's anything to do with you being male or female. I think that's job stereotypes.
Also going on that,
because I'm grey.
Also going on that, not mentioning anyone's job, but I went to the Apple store the other day. Nothing to do with anything, but I went to the Apple store the other day, and do you know who I hunted down when I saw the employees?
Hope you didn't hunt down anyone, Kev. Like,
not the white guy, not the black girl, not the anything. I just looked for the most available person that was the youngest, because I knew they'd better answer my questions better than
I just
the
think
older
everyone's
person.
bloody free in them stores. Stop saying the
They
A
thought I
word.
was young. No.
But that goes down to stereotypes rather than gender. Because if I'm going to take a step back, personally, me, if I went to the Apple store, I'd get whoever's free. But people think tech, they think it's a boy thing. But if I went to a fashion store, people think fashion. I'd rather take fashion tips from a woman.
Ooh, but see, that's where.
But that's me stepping back as a generalization. Not saying I would do that, but that goes back to the whole like
that has
generalization.
That's got a title.
Sorry,
and it's called Unconscious Bias.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not what I would do, but I think it's what most people would do, whether they admit it or not.
But
Yeah,
the
but the thing
unconscious
about
bias
go to the
still
person that's
swings
free.
in favour of men over women.
100%.
Yeah,
And
it's like there's a plumber.
point,
You go into a plumber. If you go into Screwfix, I reckon most people, again, not saying, I'll go to whoever's free. But if there's a dude there, I reckon most people would aim for the dude.
So we watched
But
an
Again,
I think that's
interesting.
just if whether people want to admit that or not, I don't know. But
watched
I think
an
that's probably the
interesting-
case, and that's something that needs to be changed.
Oh,
Obviously,
Yeah.
sorry,
We
go
watched
for
an
it.
interesting video today about it's EasyJet have started this new project where they're going into schools because they asked the 3-year-old kids in the schools, can you do an impression of a pilot? And all of them, there are props around them, and all of them put on mustaches. Even the boys, the girls did as well. And
also air hostess.
yeah, so they
It's called air hostess,
and
isn't
then
it?
they said, this is your captain speaking. I'm James, the captain. And then the teachers are like, well, we're now going to bring in a real life captain. And a woman walks in and she's like, this is your captain speaking. And it was just saying how early on the kind of gender roles or what's perceived can come out. And it's like, we all do it, but women do it as well, which doesn't add to the cause, but it's something that
It
is
starts
drilled
earlier than that,
into so early on. Like, I would love to be a pilot. Did I ever think I could be a pilot when I was little? No, because I'd always hear a man.
From experience, how early do you think it starts?
Younger
Don't
than
you
3.
think?
Just in general,
Yeah.
But
I
one
would say
second,
from
like,
experience, pure experience, having two
as you're
two
as
children,
you're a baby,
it
obviously, it
starts
gets
from the age of
imprinted.
3, and I'll tell you why. Because when my son's mum has a little girl, and when we met, she was 3 years old, and we used to go to the toy shop, like Toys R Us when it was a thing, and she'd be 4, 5 at the time, and the girls' toys are ovens, they're little hoovers, they're kitchen things, they're all like appliances. That is literally, they're all pink appliances. I don't know what it's like now because I don't look at that, but it's like ironing boards and so. You probably remember when you were little, like you'd have the similar thing your mum would do. The boys' toys are like Action Men, Transformers. There's no like, you get the odd mechanical thing, but it's like it's kind of grinded in from like that really early age. That like,
Yeah, you
I mean,
forget how
what sort of
important
fun
that
is a
stuff
bloody
is.
toy fucking
I still think
iron?
that in a generation's time, the world will be better because maybe not our generation, because
A few.
I think my generation personally is we're in that divide where we still remember the old school, which is why we're trying to be better. And I think that's an important thing. Whereas the new kids coming out are just better about certain things.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Mm.
It's not.
Apparently
No.
not.
Teenage boys are more sexist than their fathers and grandfathers currently.
Why? What?
Yeah, I'm agreeing
because
with
of
it
one
there.
single man known as Andrew Tate.
Let's not get into that but I do get with their extremes now.
It's getting worse. I think, like you were saying, I think even my generation, we're still kind of borderline, because even like watching TV shows that came out when I was younger, if you watch them now, you're like, oh, that's not aged well, and stuff like that,
Yeah.
And there are still
The problem
people
is
in
now
my
it's
generation where
more
you're like,
accessible.
yeah, social media is the worst, but yeah, unfortunately, it's people like Andrew Tate who, once you latch onto something, it's like how the riots after the Southport incident spread so quickly. Is once people buy into that narrative, it spreads like wildfire, and that is unfortunately.
The problem is, back in the day, it was more subdued because you'd have to go and physically read a newspaper or turn on a TV channel. Now it's like a little bleep, bleep, bleep in your pocket, and you're like, everyone sees it, and everyone can say whatever they want, and it's free of charge. Like, Madge from down the road couldn't have her opinion on the riots on BBC News, but she clicks a couple of buttons on her phone. It's like, well, everyone sees. The difference is the world is no worse than it was 20 years ago. The difference is you didn't have a thing beeping in your pocket telling you about it every 5 seconds.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on these kind of dating apps? Because my personal opinion
It's random.
is that, no, but hear me out. It is connected. The idea that we just disregard like lives, like we're going through stuff like it's just like, just products on a Wait, hang
Can I
on.
give you my perspective on that?
Like,
Are you talking about basing people purely on looks?
No. Well, no. I'm just saying that the idea that we can just discard people and go left, right. It's like we've forgotten
We're
the
not discarding
humanity. That it's like we don't treat each other with respect anymore. Like we just see as
No,
products.
no, that's no different than you walking past someone in the street and not having a conversation with them.
No, because
You
somebody
can't,
would.
you can't have a conversation with everyone.
No,
No.
but they're not. They're there for a certain purpose. You don't walk. Nobody walking down the
Yeah.
street is there to impress you. Or
But you wouldn't ever like engage in someone you weren't attracted to. That's insane.
I disagree.
I think that,
Well, no,
On a
that
dating
was taken out.
site,
Yeah, that was taken out of context.
on a dating site.
So I mean,
This is purely on a dating site. That's
yeah,
insane.
dating apps. I mean, as soon as I went into my teenage years, like 17, 18, that's when like Hinge hit off and stuff like that. So when I was single, I'm not single anymore, but when I was, you know, I'd be on them. Did I ever meet people from there? Probably once in my life. I didn't enjoy them. All of my previous partners I've met through life rather than on a
real
dating app.
encounters. Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I mean, there is obviously an element. If you are looking for a romantic thing, you do have to be attracted to them. But I think in the word, it's the definition of attracted. Because for me, personality and your values are what makes you attractive, not.
Can I give my 2 cents on that?
Yeah,
you might like this,
physical
Kev, because it's one of the most sensible things I'm ever going to say.
What?
It's probably one of the most sensible things I'm ever going to say.
No, it's not. You're going
Yeah,
to
it is.
offend me either way, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to offend anyone. Looks make a date. Personality make a relationship.
I'm gonna match you on that. Attracted by looks, but stayed because of personality.
Perfect.
It's beautiful.
But you have to have that instant, like, you would never go up to someone being like, I'm not attracted to them in the slightest, but it might be really funny. It's like, it has to be something
good things
there.
take time.
No.
Okay.
But just me being honest, like, you know. But I've been on dates with people that are attractive and they're just nothing going on up here. It's like, oh God.
Yeah,
So it's like, you've got to have that, like, you've got to have something up here, ain't you?
But this, I was just thinking before when we were talking about the kind of our generations, is Kev, your review of Barbie when you first went to see it. And I was looking over our interaction on your post about it. And it just made me laugh because I was like, you know, you're saying like dated principles. And I was like, hold on, these are not dated. I experience them right now.
We were talking about Barbie. You're saying you...
So it just reminded me of that because I think we both watched that film from a very different perspective. But then you went back and watched it and changed your mind.
I've never seen it, but I need to.
Yeah, and I think what I was saying before, irrelevant of people's opinion on the film, if they liked it or not liked it,
it's powerful.
It wasn't about that. It was, I watched Oppenheimer, which is a 3-hour slow burn epic with men talking in rooms, and it's really engaging for the thing it is. It's really serious, and you come out a little shell shocked. And then I went to see Barbie, which is full of pink and like silly little jokes. I was like, it didn't work for me because I was in a wrong headspace for it. So when I took a few days off and I saw it at the end of the week again, I also saw Oppenheimer again, but I saw Barbie again. I think I saw Barbie 3 times at the cinema in total, if I remember right. Because the second time, because if you haven't seen Barbie, where the fuck have you been? But it's
right here. I haven't seen it.
It's really jarring because it is like, it's such a fake world that it's like, oh, right, okay, we need to get into that mode of that thing. But when you watch it for a second time, you know the world you're walking into. So you can just sit and relax and enjoy the film. And I absorbed so much more from it. All the messages, well, as far as I was concerned, a lot of the messages I got. But the first time I didn't get it because I was just going, this is weird, this is weird, this is weird. But the second time, I absolutely loved it.
So I did the opposite. I saw Barbie first, and then I did the Barbenheimer, and I saw Oppenheimer second. With a movie like Oppenheimer, don't get me wrong, fantastic movie. But when you've got Christopher Nolan and an absolutely stellar cast and a true story, you can't really go wrong. But
True.
watching that, I was like, and it was even mentioned today, is that in over 80% of TV series and films, a woman's role is the sex object or the support. And going in from watching Barbie to going into Oppenheimer, that's exactly what it was. And it's like,
I do agree.
that's probably
but
true because
I
at the
don't
time
think
it was made.
I don't think it's a fair criticism on Oppenheimer, because a lot of people did go, "Oh, Oppenheimer's loads of white men in room," but it was the 30s. That's what it was.
No, that's exactly what I was just going to say.
Accurate.
It is a reflection
If it was
of what it was.
Yeah. If it was a fictional film about something random and the women were just pointless,
but interestingly, Nolan has never done sex scenes, so it was very different to his style. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't normally have
he still didn't really.
The kind of archetypical woman as the, you know, the femme fatale kind of like, you know, just turning up to kind of move the plot forward, or in fact, normally it's about wives being killed, which is really scary, especially for Christopher Nolan's wife. But
was his wife killed?
No, he's not.
Oh,
no, but if you look at a lot of his films, it's about wives getting like murdered and.
Oh anyway. Yeah, Batman.
Yeah. Well, no, that's his mum, but not his wife.
No, it's his partner.
Oh, it's his girlfriend. Yeah, it's his girlfriend. Yeah.
So his mum.
But yeah,
his mum and his partner. Yeah.
It is
also, let's bring something up. What was Katie Holmes doing that she couldn't do that film, for crying out loud?
She was giving birth, dude.
No, she in silence. Yeah. No, she was. She's in Scientology, you're not allowed to make a noise. That's true. She wasn't allowed to make a noise. Did you not know that?
No, but I'm saying, like, if she's ready to give birth, she can't be on a set. Like, she needs to.
You know that isn't the reason why she didn't do it. She was doing another project.
Really?
Liv doesn't have a clue what you're talking about. You've just gone off on a real tangent.
Oh, I'm saying. Yeah. Katie Holmes didn't do the greatest Batman movie of all times because she was doing another movie that was a flop. It was a TV show, actually. And it was a complete flop.
Interesting.
But anyway,
can I quickly go back to Barbie, though, real quick?
Let's stick on that for a minute. Yeah.
I was just going to say what I thought was really powerful about Barbie was the fact that when Ken's character becomes corrupted by misogyny, and
really
by the patriarchy.
Oh, yeah,
I've never seen it. Bear in mind,
it's a little bit of a giveaway. Sorry, it is
not
a bit
by
of a
the
spoiler
misogyny, by the patriarchy.
But my point is, it was really clever how it's like it's like a toxic that spreads through all the men throughout the film, and then he starts to corrupt all of the other men, and they go, and they start to just change everything. And it's really fascinating. Sorry.
I was having a conversation with my friend about this, so this is her takeaway from it, and I completely agree with it. But it's basically what you just said: is that when you start the film, they're living in a matriarchy, but the men are not there to serve the women. Obviously, Ken is obsessed with Barbie, but she turns around to him and says, "You don't need me to validate you. You are Ken enough." That's where that all comes. But when it flips, and we're in a patriarchy, which was an exaggeration, a dramatization of the world that we live in, because we do live in a patriarchy. The women are there to serve the men. But when it's the other way around, it's not. But it's kind of showing that a lot of people now, especially in the gender debate, as like, and this came from a podcast called the Man Enough podcast, which is a very good podcast. I recommend listening to it.
Who does that? Who's the presenters?
It's Justin Baldoni, Terry or Tony something, and then a woman. I can't remember the woman's name. I just know Justin Baldoni from.
Do you ever? Oh, sorry. I'll do it afterwards. Carry on.
Jane the Virgin, great show. But it was said on that a lot of people, a lot of men, why they're getting so angry about the rise of feminism is saying, well, women are just going to take over, and they're saying, and accurately so, they're like, well, we're not trying to take over. It doesn't have to be one sex versus the other. You can both live next to each other. So that's what a big thing in Barbie was like. Once the men are in control, the women have to serve the men. But when the women were in control, the men were just free to live how they wanted to live.
See, that's strange.
This isn't meant to go either way. But
one sec. You don't know what we're talking about. So don't you get on your high horse. Look at you, you're like, I don't think I want to know what you're going to say. But I didn't actually pick up on that. Like I said, when I sent that initial review, I wanted to like it. I was really open to it, and I really wanted to see it. And I think I didn't like it just because of that jarring differentiation between the two films. And when you convinced me, it was you that basically said, "I'm disappointed that did you not notice this and this?" I was like, "Huh?" So I went back and I was like, "Thank God you did that," because I do feel it's probably one of the more important films in recent years for a lot of reasons. But I didn't even pick up on that point because at the beginning, the Kens are not doing anything; they're just floating around doing their own thing.
Yeah.
But when it flips, the women are not floating around doing their own thing while the men are in the patriarchy. They're like, beer can, beer can, beer can. Like everyone, even the fucking mermaids giving John Cena a beer in the sea. It's like, what the hell?
At the risk of making John Cena and mermaids in the sea a non-serious thing, like I'm not going to say if I do or don't like this podcast or have any opinion. You heard the Whatever podcast?
The one you're on.
Liv, you must have heard the Whatever podcast, right?
No, I don't think so.
Nope.
Have you not? Okay. Well, they have a lot of credible and non-credible feminists on there.
Right.
Like, and if you were going to say, obviously the patriarchy does exist. Like, it does. Like, whether we like it or not, it does. It's unfortunate. But they have a lot of crazy people on it go, we could live without men. But I don't believe that. You can't live without men. You have to have both, don't you? And everyone should be...
Well, obviously.
We know the term egalitarian, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
That's me. And that's how everyone should be, right?
Equal, you mean?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
That's egalitarian. That's like it should. Like, you know that whole stupid little wristbands people say, "What would Jesus do?"
Yeah.
Them little wristbands people say, "What would Jesus do?" I'm all right. What if no one cared? If we lived in a world where no one genuinely cared, it would be brilliant. No one cared if you're gay, straight, male, female, black, white, short, tall. What a great place we'd be in.
See, that was my point earlier. I thought the new generation coming up is going to be less sexist, less...
Can we just not be in a world where no one gives a shit?
That'd
be amazing, wouldn't it?
Because the world is heavily
like someone said to you, but I'm gay. Like, I don't care.
Sorry, what was that?
Shouldn't it not be that we don't care? It should be that we do care.
Shouldn't care.
No.
You shouldn't care.
We care, but it's about respecting other people's choices.
No, you shouldn't care. You should have no emotion towards it at all. No emotion.
Back to your point about
a male
women saying, or whoever it was in this podcast saying that women can live without men. It is scientifically proven that men live longer if they have a woman in their life, whether that's a partner or a close relative or anything. Women live longer.
But women live longer in general
without a man, because the stress of having a man reduces their life expectancy.
We are risky. Anyway, when you went for the toilet, James, we were wrapping up and going to finish up, but gone again. We've gone again.
You came out of that toilet like Popeye.
I just think it'd be cool if everyone just like didn't care, just got on, had a good time, like the Dutch.
Yeah,
like
but then again, they're not that equal.
Oh,
at all.
But the Finnish, then. The Finnish.
The Scandinavian are probably the most. I mean, Iceland is meant to be the most gender equal and equitable country in the world.
Let's go with that.
But even then, they're not 100%. And if you've not heard of the book or not read the book Invisible Women, I highly recommend you read it. And
I can't read, but
listen to the audio book.
If there's an audio book,
the audible version, yeah.
And this was written in 2016, I think. But what the example I'm about to give, they've just done it recently again. But it was the point about how much unpaid labor a woman will do around the house. So on average, a woman takes up 9 hours a day more than men of housework. And
9 hours a day housework?
Yeah. So, but women aren't paid for that. There's no remuneration for that. So that doesn't go into.
But surely they haven't got a job if they're doing 9 hours of housework.
No, that's on top of a job. I would 100% agree with that.
I watched
That's not true.
I watched
That can't be true.
I watched this comedy program, right? And it's really good, and it's doing my head in. I can't remember her name. Do you guys watch Taskmaster by any chance?
Seen it.
I've seen it with Greg
There's
James? Not Greg James, what's his
Greg
name?
James, Greg Davies. About
Yeah.
3 series ago, there was this really cool woman that had like a fedora on, and she dressed a little bit like a cowboy type thing, but she was really
Cowboys
funny
don't wear fedoras, Kev.
and really abstract. Well, I don't know. She was kind of hippie-ish. She was cool. Anyway, she did this program.
Hippie, cowboy, fedora wearing woman.
God knows. I don't know. The point is she was abstract, and her comedy is abstract. She's a comedian that not massively well known till Taskmaster put her up there a bit higher. And she did this TV series on Channel 4, like a 6-part comedy show. And it's so funny. But the joke at the beginning is it's kind of the title's going to annoy me, but it's about the menopause, but not. She's at the age where she's about to have the menopause, and she's sick of her husband, and the husband it showcases what he's like, just useless. And she goes to this like cupboard full of like journals, and she pulls a journal out, and she's like on the 500th page of the 20th of these books, and she's just jotting down another job that she's done that's taken 10 minutes to do because she's asked him and he said no, and she's done it. And she puts it back and she goes, fuck this. She gets on a bike and she disappears and just leaves him, and she just writes a note saying, read my book. And it's just a category of all this stuff that, because not all men are useless.
So with that, with them, what they did with this study is that in Iceland, because the unpaid work doesn't go towards a GDP of a country because it's not got remuneration, it doesn't go in the circulation of the economics. Obviously, Iceland doesn't have that many people in it. So basically, all the women, and by all, I think it's something like 85 to 90% of the female population, working population in Iceland, one day just stopped. And they all got together and they just didn't work, didn't do any housework, didn't drop the kids off at school, didn't do anything like that. And in one day, Iceland's GDP dropped significantly. And that's when they realised how bad, how not equal their laws were. So they changed it, and it's like 94% or something like that equitable. But they've just done it again because they're still not happy with it. And it did the same thing. So it completely flipped the way that Iceland now creates its laws and conducts its society. Because
but just to be clear, like when you are with a partner, you split the housework, right? So is that saying Icelandic men are just really lazy?
No, because in a typical household of a heterosexual relationship, you may look like you might be seen to be doing 50-50, but I guarantee at the end of the day it's
not 50-50, yeah, but like if you work more hours, obviously you can't do, whether it be the male or female working more hours.
Let's not get into it. You
should be splitting stuff. That sounds like a personal preference, isn't it?
It's dependent on each person, and like you said, who says you're working more hours?
No, not me. I said whoever.
Yeah, but that's not a thing. That's not a thing.
If you're both working 9 to 5, you should split the shift, surely.
Of course, but that's not a thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen.
Oh, well,
it just doesn't happen.
That's just people being lazy bastards, isn't it? Really.
You, me, might, but the general consensus of the.
It's true. I'm sure you and your missus like split who's cooking and who's cleaning, who's hoovering and stuff. Like it might outbalance a little bit, but not like huge. I'd feel bad otherwise.
I need to get better at knowing like washing machines, tumble dryers, because I'm scared if I try to do a wash.
You need to get better at putting. You literally
can I ask you all a question though? Even though you might split the chores, who makes the shopping lists? Who says you need to put a wash on? Who does all of the mental load behind the physical actions?
Why would you need to see who puts a wash on? If the washing basket's full, you go and put it in the bloody washing machine.
We take it at turns with the list because I love lists. I'm weird like that.
Well,
then when you're doing a shopping list, you're like,
men, but the amount of people.
But when you're doing a shopping list, you're like, what do we need? Oh, we need that. We need this.
I'm sure I'm not saying.
Fridge, go through the freezer. It's like,
James,
well,
that's
not.
That's a good headlining. Apparently, we are all perfect men. That's
No, we're not.
good to know.
No, we're not. We're definitely not. But it's like,
We're far from
if
that.
I was like, well, let's do the shopping. Let's just go through. Okay, we haven't got any of this. Haven't got any of this. Let's put that on this. Let's put that on this. And then when you go down the shop, you buy loads of stuff that you don't actually need. Especially if you're in
I was
Lidl or Aldi, you should go down the middle
say.
aisle, end up with a bloody unicycle or a drill set or something. And then when it comes to the washing,
Shopping
you're
Aldi,
like,
I
oh,
take
washing basket's full. I'll take it downstairs and put it in the wash. Yeah, I'm going to put the whites in with the colours because I don't care. Yes, that's something that you do that are better than us. But
It's not that hard.
in general, it's relatively
You just got
similar.
to separate the colours and the white.
I was going to
That's why
say,
we find out you're colourblind.
Then you have to hang it out, and you're like, yeah, okay, I have to put that out for a bit. But I hate hanging it out. But
James doesn't know he's been wearing a pink T-shirt all night.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to check.
Yeah.
Is that the coffee one?
joking, I buy a new one every week. I don't wash my clothes. I throw them away.
He
David
burns them
Beckham.
in the street.
But yeah, it's like I think people need to sort it out. Just help out. But the bloody what, Drew? You know how to use a washing machine, don't you?
Yeah. Now that I've been living out of the suitcase.
Why did you look up?
I didn't look up. I don't know where I
30
looked.
degree or 40 degree?
What?
30 or 40 degree?
I'm 30 degree.
Well, sometimes it could be 60 though. I guess it depends if you really want to get rid of the.
Don't
What?
use 60, man. Use 30.
Well, yeah, but 30 is a warm wash, right?
Do you know the symbols
60's a-
on the labels of clothes and what they all mean?
Well, I have to
everything
wash
goes
my
on
shirts
30.
in cold wash.
Well, yeah, some you can't put in the tumble dryer. Some are not
Yeah.
ironable. Is that even a word? Ironable.
But on
Oh,
your
God.
label, inside your every t-shirt, you've got the little label here. There are symbols in there, and they all tell you what the cleaning is. Do you know what all of those mean?
Yeah, so there's cotton, there's nylon.
Material.
No.
Yeah, it tells you
No,
what it's
no,
made
no,
of.
but but that is on the label, and that depends. You wash it a certain way, and it is certain heats.
Well, it'll
No?
tell you what it's made of, but there
No,
are
it
symbols
says like
separate
washing
to what it's
machine,
made
tumble
of.
dryer, iron. It's got like a little thing.
Yeah,
and
no,
a
it's got the
cross.
little icons. It's got the icons on the label.
Lots of people don't know that.
I don't look at any of that.
But maybe that's something that should be at school. Like, guys, how to help the
Guys and
potential
girls,
partners
everyone.
in your life is
A
the
friend
name
of
of the
mine,
lesson.
family friend of mine, they're from Australia, and for a month, I think it's like technically year 11, they all go off and they learn stuff like mortgage, investments, cleaning, cooking,
Brilliant.
all of that stuff for a
Where
month.
are they?
Brilliant.
Is that in the UK?
Maybe not cooking and cleaning, but like brilliant. Oh, we do cooking at school anyway, don't you? Home ec.
No,
Whether
but-
it's
no, but
called,
that's-
Sorry,
But it's like
Liv,
that is
where
brilliant.
in Australia,
is this in the UK?
in Melbourne.
In
that
Australia?
makes sense.
See, that's
How
brilliant
to
because
change a plug.
no, but you could also like how to write a letter, how to
Well, how
write
to
an
write
address and what
English. That's
side you
English.
stand
We
for.
do that.
I
We
got
learn
taught
that
that
at
at
school,
school.
Drew. It's called English.
Do you think you learn all that?
No,
I
I
remember learning that.
Drew, I think
I think I was ill on the day that they learned to write on addresses and put the stamp.
Yeah,
Did you go to
I
school?
don't think I was there that day.
it's
I think
2024.
I
No
just-
one needs to write a letter, Drew.
No, you do sometimes. You have to
Draft
write
an
a.
email.
Mate, people are still writing letters, man. Like
Mate, you
it's a
weren't
nice
born in
touch
the
to write a
60s.
letter. But I'm saying even if you didn't write the letter, you still have to post it, and you still have to put an
I think
address.
learning about money in organization,
Yeah.
mortgages,
How
all
to
that
pay
sort of
bills.
stuff is very important. That would be
Well,
good.
Tom Holland said in an interview, and this was very bold of him. He said that he thought water was for free. He thought people just got water for free. He didn't realize.
Also,
that
he's a
it was bill.
millionaire, so he doesn't need to worry about that sort of thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's also Spider-Man. So
He is also a superior.
Anyway, should we end it before the next heated debate? And
God, yeah. Things that Drew didn't learn at school.
ouch,
Writing.
ouch.
how much is your water bill, Drew? Oh, you don't know, do you? You
I don't know right now. No,
30
not
quid in,
right now,
30
no,
quid out.
no.
my suitcase bill.
I
I
hope you
need to buy
enjoyed
new
it,
wheels for my suitcase.
I hope
Drew's just
you
running
enjoyed
the tap in
chatting
his
to us,
hotel
Liv.
for days.
and I hope you walk away positive and not like those fuckers.
Hopefully, we didn't traumatize you, Liv. I'm sorry.
No, you're all good. Don't worry.
Really, even James?
Oi,
She didn't answer, did she?
No, joking.
Yeah,
It's lovely
exactly.
to meet you all, though.
A nice, healthy debate is good sometimes.
Of course.
Yeah. You'll know anyway, but don't disappear until after, just because it takes a second to upload. But yeah, thank you very much.
Like Kev.
I don't even get that. That doesn't even make logical sense.
Oh, these are
That's worse than one of my dad jokes, James.
James, don't quit your day job.
No one. I haven't seen James's face for the last 20 minutes. There's a big phallic object covering his entire head.
It's not even plugged in. That's the whole joke of it. It's not even a real mic.
I know. What is that?
It's a microphone. It's just not plugged in.
You're a ridiculous human.
You're killing the illusion, James.
Bye-bye.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for hanging out with us. We hope you had a whale of a time.